Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So this is part 2 video series on Redux Toolkit. Okay, now we are trying to implement the read operation in our CRUD operations. Okay, using the state management with the help of Redux Toolkit. So we know, right? We have a file like car slice. So go to there. So now I want to create two action methods inside of the reducer so that the data or the state of the store will be updated. Okay, here you can see, right, actions uses reducers to push the data into the store that we implement now. So the first action, I want to name it like, okay, all cars. So this is related to my all cars component, right? So naming will be represents my component or the functionality I'm going to implement. Okay, all cars loading. Okay, this is my action method name, and it takes state as an input parameter with arrow function. Okay, now my requirement is this all cars action method, all cars loading action methods. I want to trigger to update the state of the loading property to pending. So loading property pending means that represents API call is not yet completed. Okay. So with this help of loading property, I can display some spinners or loading symbols on my website before displaying the actual content, because there will be a delay for API response, right? In that time, we can nicely represent our website with a spinner. For that, we can use this loading property. So here what I will do, state dot, okay, loading, okay, assign this property to pending. And if you see, we are directly mutating the state, but actual state rule is we should not mutate the or change the existing state. Either we should generate a new state with our updating values, okay. But here also we are mutating, but internally there is a library called immer used by the React Toolkit. What it will do, it won't mutate the actual state. It just regenerates the updated state or a new state with the updated values. Okay, that is the beauty of the Redux Toolkit. So we are no need to bother whether we are violating any rules of our state management. Okay, so loading pending. So this is my action method. And now I want to create another action method like all cars received. That means API call completed. Okay. So here state, and now here I my action method will take payload property also. This payload is nothing but my API response. Okay, I can take it like payload. So here now what I will do, I will change the state dot loading to back to again to idle. Okay, because our API call completed, and I want to update the data to my car data. Okay, so I will directly assign the payload. And now we have to export these action methods. So to export the action methods, we can do like export constant and just use same names. Okay, and car slice dot actions. Okay, like this we can export our action methods. And now let me create two selectors for loading the, so those selectors I can use in my component for fetching the slice of data, any slice of data. So here you can observe, to get the any data from the store, we have to use the selector. Okay, selectors, what they will do as per their definition, selection definition, they are going to get any kind of slice of data from the store to any kind of component that invokes them. Okay, so now let's define selectors like, directly we will export them. Okay, export constant. I will name it like get all cars. So this selector helps to get the all cars data. Okay, store state cars data, whichever component invokes this selector. Okay, so here what we will do, we can define a arrow function by inputting a state variable. Okay, so here to return this car data, okay, what we have to write means state dot and name of the reducer. So what is my car slice reducer name? Cars. So copy this name, okay, paste it. Dot and we can fetch the any property from our state. Okay, I want to fetch the cars data, right? I will fetch that. Okay, this is my get all cars selector. Now I am going to read loading property also by creating one more selector. So get loading. Okay, here also same. State will be the input parameter and state dot name of the reducer, that is cars dot property loading. So our property is loading, right? That loading. So this is the selectors. Now any component can utilize these selectors to fetch the data from the store. Okay. So from this diagram, what we can understand, we have a store now. We have a reducers now, and also we have actions and the selectors. Now to get the API call, here we are seeing Redux Thunk middleware, right? So Redux Thunk middleware is an optional one. So first what I will do, without using the async Redux Thunk middleware, first we will implement the actual logic read operation. Okay. Later we will change our code how it will be when we use the Redux Thunk middleware. Okay. So first we will do without the Redux Thunk middleware. So go to our all cars component and here we have to display the API response. We have a API, right? So this is our API. This API response, I want to store it into the state management store, and then using the selectors, I want to fetch it into my all cars component. Okay. So here what I can do means first to get the all cars, here all cars data is there, right? To get this cars data, what I can write means I can use selector. See, that is loads from the React Redux. Okay. So to this use selector, I can pass my selector name. So to get all cars, what is my selector? Get all cars. So I have to use this all cars selector. So let's import this all car selectors here. Import from. Okay, and here import the get all cars. Okay, so here pass the get all cars, uh, and so this selector going to return the our property cars data property, which is a array object. So here what I will do, I will store it into the variable like constant all cars data. Okay, so this will contains our all cars data, and that data we have to bind it to our UI. Okay, and I also want to know the state of the API. So to know the state of API, we have a property like loading. Okay, so for loading also we have a selector get loading. So I can use the get loading to know the state of the API call. So let's import the get loading. Okay, so here use selector get loading. Okay, and assign it to the variable. So I will name the variable like API status. Okay, so these are the selectors for fetching the data from the store. So from this picture we can understand, right? Selectors are consumed by components, and selectors what they are doing? They are doing fetching the data from the store. Okay, now I want to call a API call. Okay, so for that we know we can use effect, which is a React hook. Okay, here I want to implement my API call logic. So to invoke the API calls, we have to install the third party most recommended library, that is Axios. Okay, click on the Axios npm link. Okay, copy the command and open the terminal. Install Axios. So Axios successfully installed. So what I will do here, inside of it, I will create one method like, okay, constant invoke all cars API. I will create a asynchronous arrow function. Okay. So here what I will do, I will listen for the response. So API response equal to Axios dot get to invoke the HTTP GET request. So let's copy our API call. So this is our API, right? Copy the URL and paste it here. Okay, since it is a AJAX call, asynchronous call, just await it. Okay. Now here we want to call the action methods two times. One is for updating the API state, that is like loading. Another one is once the API data response is received, that data must be pushed to the store. So here you can see, right, component invoke the action method and action method inside of the reducers pushes the data into the store. That we are doing this part. Okay. So here what I will do for invoking the action method, action methods, we have to use the dispatch. So let's define my dispatch. Okay. Use dispatch. Initialize the dispatch. And now here I want to invoke this action method for updating the state. What action method? All cars loading. Okay. So what I can do, dispatch. Okay. Open bracket. See here, action. So I have to import the action name. That is my all cars loading. Okay. So here I can call my all cars loading action method. Okay. So what it will do? It will invoke the all cars action method and pushes the whatever the logic we have written here, changes the state data. Okay. So now after getting the response, I want to invoke the this action method, all cars received. So let's import all cars received action method. Okay. Again, call the dispatch here. Okay. And all cars received. Since it should pass payload, right? So API response dot data. Okay. And this should be invoked immediately, right? So I have to call it here. Invoke API. Okay. So that is my logic. So whenever this dispatch pushes the data into our store, right, this variable, selector variable automatically gets updated. Okay. Changes will be always updated by the use selectors. Okay. So next what we can do, I will create a variable here like let content to render. Okay. So initially empty. Okay. And here what I want to do, I will add a container. Okay. That is React Bootstrap container. Some class, a margin top. And here I want to pass that content to render. So why I am creating this content to render means I am dynamically pushes the JXX code into this variable. Okay. So now here I will assign it like content to render equal to based on the API status variable. So API status equal to pending. That means API call is in action. Okay. equal to pending. Then I want to return one kind of JSX code. If not pending, I want to return actual content rendering code. So here what I will do, here first if it is pending, I want to show the spinner. So go to React Bootstrap website. So go to components and here you can find spinners. Okay, let me copy this content. Okay, let me add a div and inside of the div, let me add the spinner content. Okay, so let's import the spinner namespace as well. Okay, add it here. And here, let's give some class styling. And here I want to display the cards of item to display my API response. For that, go to cards component. Okay, let's go to the bottom to get my desired layout. So this is the content I want to have. Okay, copy it and paste it in the else condition. Okay, so let's import the all the namespaces required here. Add it over here. Okay, now here we are seeing the array looping, right? So remove this array and we know where we get our data, right? All spinners car data, which gets data from the get all cars selector. So let's use that variable that will be a array. So initially no data, initial state what is there, empty will be assigned to the that variable. If the data is pushed here, then its state is updated, right? That data will be automatically updated into this variable by the selector of the state. Okay. So all cars data, let me write it like car. To avoid the warning, let's assign key value here car.id. Okay. And now for the image, here id value, what are the property bindings that comes from my API response. Okay. So copy the image URL here like car.image URL. Okay. And title car.name. Yes, car.name. And here what I will do, model here car.year. Okay, this is my binding and I want to display 3 cards per column. Okay, let's reduce the size. Okay, that's our logic. Now let's test it. So please make sure to run our API service as well as our ReactJS service. See here, I am able to see. If I reload, see, you can see the loader just fraction of seconds because it will display until the API response is received. The loader. Okay, and if you inspect the elements, so there is a browser tool called Redux. Please install it. Redux, you can get the browser extension, Chrome extension, Redux. And here you can see the invocation of all our state management. See, my action method, all cars are loading and its data. See, what is the previous data and what is the updating data. And here my all cars received action method. See, so we can trace what is happening inside of the store using the Redux store. Okay, just here our action method names gets printed automatically. Okay, so from this we have successfully implemented the uh, read operation by fetching the data from the Redux Toolkit store. Okay, so here we are using uh, without tongue casing middleware, right? Next, we are going to update our code. This read operation only, we update our code using the Thunk async middleware. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video delivered some useful content to you. If you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel, and also please like the video and share the video. Soon we are going to meet with new videos. Until then, signing off.